Hello and welcome to Front Row Racing World Championship for round 15, the Russian Grand Prix. Before we introduce everybody here, what I'm going to quickly do is run through the race results for Japan, which was the previous event. We had It's Hammer Time taking the top step of the podium. Second place was Over Dyking, third was Temp Fear, fourth Jamie James, fifth Bartman, sixth Front Row Racing DP, seventh Dan Evs, eighth Duo Finn, 9th Mornay, 10th Konzo, 11th Killer Corkin, and the last finisher was Jason in 12th place. Driver of the day, well deserved, went to It's Hammer Time 44, and team of the day was Rising Lads Red Bull. And over to the Drivers' Championship standings, they are as follows. We have got Temp Fear at the top on 216 points, with Kev 187 on 200, Front Row Racing DP on 181, Over Dyking on 160, Jamie James on 152, and then we've got Konzo in 6th, and GT5 King, Bartman, It's Hammer Time, Dan Evs, Killer Cork and Jason, Duo Finn and Mornay down at the bottom. Constructors standings are as follows. Mode Red Mana Marussia with 381, followed by Up the Line Scuderia Ferrari 312, Rising Lads Red Bull 260, Flaming Dragons Mercedes very close behind on 250, then Team Freedom 140, Sensen Racing Williams on 48, and Landmark Racing Sauber on 18. So there's the business bit done out of the way and got out of the way. So I am Front Row Racing GP, also known as Stevie Sherdbits. With me in the commentary booth is James Hulkenberg, also known as James Hulkenberger. How are you this evening, James?
Yeah, not too bad. I've just flicked out of the lobby, so I'm down at the bottom, but I'm back in now and I'm raring to go. I can't wait for this Russian Grand Prix.
Well, let's hope that everything goes fine and there'll be no more problems. At least you are back in with us. Yep, also down in the pit lane we have got Front Row Racing RI, also known as Rachel Brooks. How are you this evening, Ray?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad at all. I'm doing fine and dandy. I'm actually looking forward to getting this race underway, because this is, I feel, is going to be I'd say interesting one, because the compounded tyres is different since we raced here last, because they did the update some time ago, but it was after we raced here last, so slightly softer compounded tyres, so maybe more pit stops than what we expect or what we saw last season. So I'm going to run through the teams that we've got on screen and who we've got where, and we'll also try and keep an eye on the time, because we get going at past, so we've got a few minutes to run through this. So in the Flaming Dragons Mercedes we've got Dan Evs and Temp Fear, and then in the Raising Lads, I'm going to change their name to Raising Lads, not Rising, Raising Lads Red Bull is Bartman and It's Hammer Time. They are in their vehicles raring to go. And then we've got Sensen Racing Williams with Killer Corkin and Jason, who is not in his vehicle yet, so we're going to have to keep an eye out to see if he actually makes it to the event. Then we've got Up the Line Ferrari of Over Dyking and Jamie James. We've got Team Freedom McLaren with GT5 King and Konzo. Nobody in the Force India. Ty Rosso, we've got some admin cars. We've got James also there in the Lotus, who's in the commentary with us. And we've got Landmark Racing Sauber of Joey Finn and Mornay. We are aware that Joey Finn won't be able to make it this evening. And then we've got Mode Red Mana Marussia, of who would normally be Kev 187, but he is unavailable again this evening. And we've got RMS Maranello in for a reserve, and also Front Racing DP is there as well. So that was all done nice and smoothly. So do we have the...
Houston's just coming.
Just coming, is he? Okay, well, let's hope that he is ready when he comes and jumps in his vehicle. Just while we're going through that, James, any thoughts on this race then? Different compounded tyres to what we saw previously. Could that make any difference to the drivers' strategies?
I'm not worrying about the compounded tyres. What I'm thinking about is there's a title up for grabs, and there's plenty of points. I think we worked it out at 125 still to go if you win the last 5. And you've got new drivers such as RMS Maranello, and as we've seen with plenty other newcomers such as Hammer Time, they come in and they're not being overly polite to these regular candidates. They're very much just saying, you know, I'm here. Watch out, because I'm going to overtake you. So it's going to be exciting to see people fighting for the title, and people like Maranello, who's literally got nothing to lose and just got it all to prove.
He's got it all to gain and all to prove, because he's basically driving for a seat for next season, because there's nobody guaranteed of a seat for next season. It's all about the driver conduct over this season, whether actually they are going to be available. Are they going to get the next game, which the next season's going to be run on? So, you know, there could be some seats available, and that's what the reserve drivers are going to be thinking about, and trying to get their, you know, face known and performances on the circuit shown. So yeah, we've seen some good reserves in the past, like Mr. Hamilton 44, and RMS Maranello is going to be wanting to do the same today. Ray, sorry, go on. Just
no, I'm just meaning that the quality of the drivers coming through, once they're making it into the championship season, even when they're only having a couple of races, so far it's been outstanding, the quality of the talent.
It definitely has. Just want to go down to Ray in the pit lane just to find out if we've got anything from the race director, because I'm not aware of any notes that we've had sent in, but I don't know if we've got any quali bans or anything.
All I've got, race director's notes: please don't make reports, that's a waste of time. Please use the footage of the driver you are reporting. That's all I've got.
Yeah, that's fair enough, I suppose.
Sounds to me like it's been a fair bit of time wasting going on out there.
Either time wasting or not understanding rules, or just hoping certain people might get penalties. I don't know, but I'm sure whoever it was knows about it. I'm just having a quick look down the pit lane, and also I'm having a look at the weather forecast. Cloudy with possible showers after a dry start. So, do we have a time when those showers might arrive?
I mean, it's looking lovely and blue at the moment, but it can change within a matter of like 10 minutes. The weather can be completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked all the way through to 90 minutes on the weather forecast, and it doesn't seem to be any signs of rain there yet, but it could change.
If it carries over to the race, we might have a brilliant dry start, and it might carry on being dry through the majority of the race, and then a bit of a shake-up if there's a few showers down in the last few laps. Yeah.
Now, I have seen that we have a few comments already on YouTube. Ray will be keeping an eye on those, and if you want to ask Ray or the admin team here, the commentary team, anything in particular, please write at Ray so it catches his eye, and then he'll read out anything that is necessary. But before we go on to that, I almost forgot about the question of the day. This question came in from a very special request from a person. All I know him as is Alan. So, James, would you like to read out the question of the day?
Yes, the question is, which celebrity would you like to spend a bank holiday with, and what would you do?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'll tell you what, there's so many different female names going through my head at the moment.
There's nobody like there's no famous people you aspire to meet other than women.
Of course. Just majority of them are women.
Sorry, what was the question? I missed that, I was typing.
Which celebrity would you like to spend a bank holiday with? So it's not just one day, it's 3. And what would you do?
I think
Any celebrity.
Any celebrity you want, Ray.
Okay.
I think mine would have to be Lewis Hamilton. And I would just, even if it was a bank holiday where he's a race meeting and I just get to spend the weekend in his pit box, in his garage, just accompanying Lewis Hamilton for a race weekend, that for me would be great. So we've got Killer Corkin on screen. He's heading down into turn 1. going to try and get some of the drivers' comments out as they are on screen as we go through. I'll go through Killer Corkins. Basically, he did say, doesn't know if he will make it today, but I'll do my best. Well, he is on circuit, and it does look like he's going to be trying his best. Oh, and it's been invalidated already.
Yeah. It's a cruel one, this circuit. Parts of it are very much like a Tesco's car park, so you've got to watch them white lines.
Yeah, now I am on board with RMS Marinello in Sector 3. It looks like he's about to be the first driver to complete, or possibly the first driver to complete a flying lap. Ray, did you manage to catch up with RMS Marinello today? Does he have any comments?
2 seconds, I think, going through my notes.
So while you're just looking at those,
it's set at 1:37.0. That's not too bad for your first go.
It's not too bad, and just to give you some idea, we are expecting times to be in the high 35s. That's what we're expecting pole time to be, high 35s, low 36s. So not bad, not too shabby. Got a banker in there. So Ray, any comments?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having DP as my teammate this evening. Hopefully I can learn a lot from him, because I know he is a really quick driver. Hopefully I can try and prove myself for next season. Well, there you go.
We'll learn a lot from being DP's teammate, even if it is only for the one event. I'm on board with Bartman. He's on a lap, but it says he's currently in second place, but I don't know if that's because he's set a lap already. It just happened to say that. Has he just gone? I think if he is on a lap, I think it's just been invalidated, unfortunately for him. Bartman's comments were very short and sweet. Bit busy with work, so not much practice, just damage limitation. So have a quick skip through. Oh, I've just seen it's hammer tyres. He's on wet tyres. What is he thinking?
I don't know, but the
I suppose
Ferraris
I shouldn't speak, but anyway.
The Ferraris have got a right technique. I've just watched it. I've just seen Overdyking trying to give Jamie James a cracking slipstream, and carried a lot of pace through Sector 1. So that was beautiful teamwork there, and I'm pretty sure Overdyking's looking forward to James repaying the favour later. Well,
saying that, we're just looking at James now and seeing how he's doing with his sector times. He's got a 34.1 Sector 1. Just say in comparison, let's have a quick look to see how that is in relation to some of the guys that well, it's up there with some of the faster times. Overdyking's got 1/10 quicker, but we don't know if James helped him with that or not. He may have done. So let's get back on board with James. He's got a 33.9 Sector 2
there. Yeah. Really screwed up under the bridge.
Yeah, he did. But I tell you what, a 33.9 Sector 2 is not too shabby.
Sector 3 is just not looking good. It doesn't look like he's got that front end hooked up.
So while we see him across the line, Ray, I'll come to you in a moment for Jamie James's comments. He's gone fourth with the 137.0.
37.0, yeah.
With a Sector 3 of a 28.9. Just looking at my notes, that 28.9 is not too bad. I mean, his Sector 2s and 3 weren't too bad, but even though he had that slipstream in Sector 1, his Sector 1 is a few tenths off what it really needs to be. You should be trying to aim for the 33s. I'm wondering if he's running high wing, but yeah.
Nah, I'm thinking he must. If he's running high wing, he will be absolutely kicking himself, because he must have lost at least half a second in Sector 3 there.
Yeah. If he's on high wing, he would have done. So, Ray, comments from Jamie James.
Jamie James is suffering from man flu, so to get to the finish with as little penalties as possible.
Yeah, well, that could be the reason why he's a few tenths off a bit here and there. Bartman's on an out lap. Just having a quick look through, see if we can find somebody on one. We've got GT5 King on one. He's just gone down the back DRS. Sector 2 at 34.4. So 2 sectors there. Not too bad. I can see this sort of being a kind of 7th-ish place. GT5 King, let's have a quick look, see if I can find some of his comments from today. If you see anything on the screen, say so.
Yeah. Sorry to put in. DP's just gone pole with a 135.8.
There we go. We've missed it, unfortunately, but we'll see if he goes out for another lap. We'll try and catch that on board. So GT Viking's gone 5th with a 37.6, and his pre-race comments were, I've had a lot of uni work, so not done much practice on a track which I've got mixed feelings about. I guess I'm going to have to go YOLO again. So there we go. So Front Row Racing DP, like you say, has gone pole, and there's the sector times to beat everyone. It's purple in every sector. A 33.8 sector 1, 33.6 sector 2, and a 28 sector 3. So that's what people are going to be trying to beat.
And the championship leader at the moment, 10th Fear, he has seen that and he's jumped out of the garage. He's not set a lap yet. He's probably been waiting to see what DP's got.
Yeah, well, if there's anyone around here that's likely to beat DP's time, it's 10th Fear. I saw him in a practice session and he was very quick, and he is heading into sector 3, so we will stay on board with 10th Fear because I want to see this lap, see if I can get his race comments from Ray before we get to the start of his lap. So Ray, 10th Fear's pre-race comments, did we get any?
No comment as of yet, but I'll check my bottom of my notes. No comment.
No comments. That's because he was too busy practicing. So there's that confidence for you.
Over the line, heading down the start-finish straight, and this is turn 2, but it's not really a well. It is a turn, but I won't class it as turn 2.
Straight.
This is what I normally class as turn 2. Here we go. Hard on the brakes, 100-metre board, get it turned in before that little kink, which usually does my head in as I usually go 4 wheels over it, but keeping it nice and tight against the left-hander. Now it's all about under-braking. Oh, a bit of understeer, but managed to hold it there. I thought it was going to understeer off the circuit, probably lost a few tenths. Now into the Mickey Mouse section, and he's lost it. He's completely lost the rear end there.
In that sector 1,
himself.
It was 1/10 off DP in that sector 1, so still a good sector, but it's going to have affected his sector 2 time.
Yeah.
Ray, could you let us know what DP's sector 2 was, just so we can compare?
Yeah, it was a 33.6.
Okay, so that's what 10th Fear's got to be aiming for, a tenth quicker if he can, but with that rear end wobbling,
it's half second off that, yeah.
It might be. I've already forgot what Ray said, but there we are. It's a 34, yeah. So it is slightly off. But I wouldn't be surprised if this was still fast enough for first row on the grid. And Ray, what was DP's sector 3? It was a 28 something.
28.3.
Wow, that is a mighty sector 3 from DP. So what can 10th Fear do? 1 corner to go. 28.4, third place with a 36.444. Not a bad time. Let's have a quick look, see if we've missed anyone while we've been watching 10th Fear go around. Over Dykink has gone.
Yeah, just slipped into second.
He has improved his lap time, but there weren't any purples out there. So yes, he's gone with a 36.229. So who do we have out on circuit that's yet to set another lap? Has DP gone back out yet? No, he hasn't.
We've got Dan Evs down at turn 1, but he's looking a bit ginger on. I think he might have run out of fuel.
I think he has. I think he's set his lap and he's done, but looking at his sector times, there's a little bit off in each one of those.
In that case, we've got Jamie James heading down into turn 1 now, trying to respond. He's down in P6. He's got to find something to get up there with his teammate and running through. Let's see what line he takes. 10th Fear, completely different line to Jamie James. Jamie James just taking a late apex, now braking, getting it turned in. That front end looks a lot better through into the Mickey Mouse section, as I like to call it, especially the next right-hander coming up. It is a nightmare until you find the sweet spot.
He was a tenth slower in that first sector. Now, is that because he didn't have over Dykink this lap, or is it he's whacked on more aero to try and prevent that bit of understeer?
Quite possibly. I would always prefer, even though you're going to lose out on the straights, always prefer to just have an extra little bit of downforce just to
yeah.
So you
its
can
time's frozen.
A bit more.
Sorry, I just noticed his time had frozen.
Well, sector 2's come up now.
It has, but his lap time is still saying 44.
Oh, yeah. 44
so we'll watch him across the line just in case this is a lap that he is allowed to set, because he still might be able to improve his position if that graphic isn't correct.
I think if he knew that lap wasn't going to be validated, he'd have jumped in the pits, but he's carried on.
Well, that's not what I was thinking, but there we go. He's got a time.
37.5. Yeah.
I don't think that was quicker than his previous time anyway. Maybe he's got enough fuel on board to run again. So we'll leave him to do that. Let's have a quick look back at the...
just a couple of people replying to the question of the day. Roto Chick says definitely SpongeBob. Will Butler says Natalie Dormer and sleep with her until she's brain damaged.
Who was it that said that?
Will Butler, our very own Will Butler.
Fair play.
Yeah, at least imagine having to put up with that. I mean, it's not one day you're having to put up with it. It's 3 days.
Do you know who mine would be?
Go on.
It would be the Biggin. Getting drunk with the Biggin and all the stories. You die of laughter.
Are you supposed to say your missus? What's she going to say now when she listens to this back? But she's not a celebrity, so I'll let you off. Okay. Right. Who do we have out on circuit? Anybody on flying laps? It's Hammer Time 44. He's out on a set of primes, so that's something to keep an eye on, but he is on an out lap.
Yeah. As we know, we've gone softer compound, so maybe he's thinking about running the soft tyres rather than running the super softs around here.
Quite possibly. So just to give people a bit of a heads up on that, the red wall tyres are the super softs, so they are the options for this this race, and the yellow wall tyres are the primes, also known as the softs, even though they are the harder of the tyres. So a quick look through some notes that I've got here. I'm just thinking if...
Hammer Time's just completely outbraked himself under the bridge.
Lucky it's his outlap. While he's on this outlap, Ray, over to you for his pre-race comments.
Sorry, who are you on? Hammer Time?
Yeah.
What the hell? First I want to say it's just call me Hammer from now on, so it sounds better. And most people call him it. The following people I like to say thank you, helping me get faster on my wheel, so thank you and I appreciate it. Steve, Kev, Dave, Brian, Conzo and Dan F. Should I just put the whole team?
Yeah.
I will try my best as I'm on my wheel for its debut in the World Championship, and I don't know if I'm going to actually qualify or not. So wait and see. Can't wait to have a battle with the people who are still willing to use the wheel. Had really good pace and practice session, but today seemed to struggle and can't match my pace. But hopefully he can.
Well, there we go.
Yeah,
so, fair play to him.
What have we seen?
I had seen on my screen his rear end kick out and him hit a wall, but I'm just wondering whether that was lag, because he didn't lose any of his front wing at all, and his lap time is still going as well. Not that it would invalidate it just for hitting a wall, so his lap time is still going.
Who is it?
It's Hammer Time. Yeah, he's backed out to let another car pass, which was his teammate, so I'm wondering whether he may be just putting some sectors in here and then he'll be coming into the pits. Yeah. But fair play to him for using his wheel now.
Yeah, and fair play to him for just getting some sector times in. It does help the admins out. It's always a bit of a nightmare when it comes to start of a race and the admins have to try and jump out of the way of people that haven't set any times.
Yeah, on board with DP. He's just coming around the last corner to start his flying lap. We've got 30 seconds left before we are kicked out of the pit lane, so we will lose our on-screen graphics, so we won't know if any driver's improving or not. He is still currently sat in first place. While we're watching him, Ray, if you could keep an eye on Overdyking, because he's out on circuit, and James, keep an eye on Temp Fear. I'll keep an eye on DP, and we'll see if anybody's positions changes as they finish their lap times. So on screen we've got DP.
I believe Temp Fear is... Oh no, we've gone off, so we can't get sector times up, unfortunately.
We can't get the sector times up, but if you can jump on with Temp, if he crosses the line before DP, then let me know if he does improve on his position. DP at the moment, it looks like he's in the middle of sector 2, coming up towards the second DRS straight.
Got to say, this is a lap from temp and it's looked pretty sweet so far. I've not seen one mistake yet.
DRS wide open from DP. Brakes lovely for the right-hander into a tight left. So that's the end of sector 2.
Into the final corner, and he's improved his time, but not in his position. He's still in third.
There we go. So DP's got a few more corners to go. Ray, how's Overdyking going?
Oh, he's gone very well. He's just coming down to where there was a big crash in the real F1 under the wee bridge. He's in the third sector. He's got a few more corners to go.
I've jumped on board because DP's boxed. He's gone for the pits, so he must be confident with his lap time, and the one that he's already set. So Overdyking here has got to go quicker than he already has, and we won't know till he gets to that line.
Corner. Keeping nice and tidy. P2.
P2. He may not have done it now. That could quite well be that his previous time was just faster, or may have improved his time. But we won't know until
one thing
in a
that
moment.
stood out for me is Maranello. I believe he may have out-qualified Jamie James in the other Ferrari, which will certainly tick off Jamie James.
Oh, I see what you mean. I thought you said that Jamie James had out-qualified the other Ferrari.
No. I'm saying that somebody that's as qualified as Jamie James, I think he's been done.
He has been done
look
by...
how close that is.
Wow, that is very tight between Maranello and Jamie James there. But yep, Front Row Racing DP takes the pole position by 0.3 of a second. Fortunately, Overdyking wasn't able to break into the 35s there, but he's still going to set a very reasonable time of a 36.229. Temp Fair in third on the grid. Just going to scroll through to see if we did get any other guys set lap times. It's Hammer Time did set a lap on the set of prime tyres. We have got a few guys that didn't set laps. There's you, me and Ray, but also Konzo. So Konzo it's probably going to be up alongside you.
It should be out of the way.
Yeah, it should be alongside you. Yeah. One thing that I would always recommend to any drivers that are not planning on putting a qualifying lap in, go out, do a couple of sectors, roll it back in the pits. You'll still get free choice of your tyres, and you'll be clearly out of the way of anyone that's commentating. So here we go then. Over to race day. And this is where anything can happen. It is the Sochi Autodromo, not Dromo, or just Autodrome. So round 15 World Championship. Wow, Front Racing DP, he'll have seen the pace of the other drivers and he'll be wanting a clean getaway, but what is it like down into that turn 2? James, you've done it before, down into that turn 2. You've got to not just look ahead of you, you've got to watch your mirrors as well, haven't you?
You've got to have eyes in the back of your backside down at turn 2. It is an absolute nightmare. Whereas if you're in DP's privileged position, all you've got to think about is getting a clean start. If you get a clean start and manage to get a few metres more off the line, you need to make sure you're defending down at turn 1. Because we Definitely. Do know the slipstream is ridiculous, especially on the starts when DRS isn't available. Yeah,
25 seconds to go before race starts. Quick reminder from James then on what the question of the day was.
Which celebrity would you like to spend a bank holiday with, and what would you do?
There we go, so that was the question of the day. Post your comments in the comments section, and I'm sure Ray will get round to reading them as and when we've got time to have a look. So the time has come then to get everybody off the grid, including the cameramen, and this race will be a go in a couple of seconds time. So we've got 5 lights on, 5 lights out, and they are racing. So as they head around turn 1 already towards turn 2, this is where DP is going to be hoping that it's clean.
Overdyking's had a nightmare of a start. He's been done by Bartman and Temp Fear. Temp Fear's gone wide.
And Danev's followed him wide
Bartman
as well.
Through.
So around
He's
turn
let
3.
Through though. So now it's Overdyking, Temp Fear. And Dan Evs is right up there. We've seen pace from him throughout this season from Dan Evs, but the points just haven't come. Is this the day where he's going to have decent points?
Well, at the moment he's in a Ferrari sandwich, and those Ferrari boys are not going to be wanting to be, you know, with a Dan Evs filling, shall we say. That's about as close as they're going to want to get to him.
10th here, he's got Overdyking absolutely hustling the back of him. And the one thing that he wants to do is, what every driver wants to do is win the race. But his main title contender is DP, but he's got Bartman in between him. But he's now got Overdyking. Oh, he just squeezed Overdyking a slight bit there. The camera went off just at the point where I was wanting to see. And we've got James in the background with Dan Evs and Maranello, the new boy, absolutely hustling the back of Dan Evs.
Yeah, I think James actually made the move stick past Dan Evs there down that back straight. So at the end of lap 1, DP has managed to keep that lead.
And Maranello jumped in front of Dan Evs.
So just to confirm, the person in second place, which we've not said anything about yet, is Bartman. So he's had a great start from the starting position.
Not for long though. Here comes 10th here. Look. Down at turn 1, getting it turned in, maybe all 4 wheels off the circuit. Is he going to have to give that position back?
Well, one thing I can say is from the Racing Stewards guide that was put together for the drivers for this circuit, I had a quick look at it last night and I was quite surprised. They've classed that bit of turn 2 as the exit of turn 2.
Oh, this is super close with Bartman and Overdyking for company.
The exit of turn 2 they've classed as lenient as long as you don't go over the curb. So he might have been alright, but I think he might have chopped the inside.
Bartman understeering slightly against 10th here, and now Overdyking's give Bartman a bit of a tap, I think. Or maybe Bartman's may have bogged down and caught Overdyking by surprise there. But them two Ferraris need to get on with it. They cannot get held up by Bartman anymore, because 10th here, he's running away with DP.
Well, Overdyking, is he going to look for an overtake on the inside like he did now? He's stayed behind him, he's giving him a little nudge.
No, he's giving him a nudge, and his teammates giving him a nudge too, saying, come on, let's get past. Bartman's power sliding out of the corners.
I'm just wondering whether they didn't overtake down there because they want to make the move into turn 2, so then they've got the whole of sector 2 to try and run away, because if they are running high aeros, or higher aeros than some others, sector 2 is where they're going to pull it out. But if Bartman's running skinny wing, he's going to run away down here.
Unfortunately for Ferrari, if they don't get on with it, the more and more they stay behind Bartman, the more and more DP and Temp are going to run away. And here comes Overdyking, he's in the slipstream, he's sniffing away, and he's going for it.
Bartman went defensive, but there's nothing he could do.
Overdyking, is he keeping all 4 wheels in?
He has. So just very quickly, Bartman's coming back at him.
Sorry, Bartman's trying it all the way around the outside. Has he got the aero? Has he got the grip? Under braking, down the inside. Overdyking's leaving him enough width. This is epic wheel-to-wheel racing between these two.
Oh, I thought James was going to go for a double overtake there, but that would have been a very brave.
Overdyking's been run out to dry, and here comes James on his teammate, slipping through. Oh, this is fantastic. Absolutely brilliant driving.
I mean, that from James...
I can almost see 2 people on the track.
That's unfortunate for Konzo. What I would say is, if his engineer is listening in, tell him to keep racing, as Kev 180 did the other week, and it'll be something that will be dealt with afterwards.
Here comes James, he's making a move. Oh, Bartman's squeezing him ever slightly. James is going straight on as he hits the wall.
It was just out of camera shot. I think he may have all of his wings
together. He's him straight back onto the racing line, did James. Bartman was on the outside and absolutely clobbered Bartman there.
And Bartman's lost his wings.
James swiping back onto the racing line. That was a bit close to call there. Feeling pretty sorry there for Bartman.
That'll be something for the... I'm pretty sure the race director and stewards will be wanting to look at that afterwards.
And Maranello, in all that, he's managed to jump in front of Overdyking. Overdyking's coming back at him. He's not giving Overdyking a second thought. He's trying to keep that place for as long as he can.
So just a very quick look back up at the front, and we'll have a little run through the order, because we are now on lap 4. DRS will be activated. Front Row Racing DP is the leader. Temp Fear is in second, 2 seconds behind. Yeah,
he's not letting him go, is he?
He's not. Jamie James 4.6 seconds behind the leader. Then Maranello over Dykink in 5th. Dan Evs in 6th, looking quite comfortable there. GT5 King's got a massive gap. Don't know if something happened earlier on, but there's a massive gap between him and the car ahead. So after GT5 King, it is Mornay, then Yarson, Killer Corkin. It's hammer time. Bartman are now in 13th place. We cannot see Konzo either, so we do not know what position Konzo is currently racing.
Konzo's in 7th.
Do you?
I can see him.
You're able to see him. Okay, if you can keep us up to date, Ray, at any point on what is happening with Connor.
Over Dykink is struggling. He's trying to catch Maranello, but Maranello, I've got to say, perfect end of lap 4, perfect drive so far from him. Absolutely harrying these two Ferraris, which we've got to say, in terms of driving standards, these Ferraris and absolute pace, they are usually on it, and it's just showing how much talent this bloke's got.
Well, there we go. He's just set fastest lap.
Is he moving into a podium place at the start of lap 5?
He could quite well be. He's got that DRS in use.
Jamie James gone defensive, and he's shut the door straight on Maranello. This is allowing Over Dykink to close back in.
I'm just wondering here if DP actually shared his setup with Maranello to give him that extra edge. Now Maranello would have been able to do the FRR ride he's running and may have had his own setup, but yeah, he's looking strong here at the moment.
He's looking very strong, especially on traction.
Now I must say, I do not know the guy. I don't know whether he's a pad user, wheel user, and I'm not even going to come to that conversation today. But there we go. Over to Ray though. Anything on YouTube from our YouTube viewers or from the engineers?
No, just saying it was just Rotochick saying Connor could only see 2 people, and she was confirming that he is in 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see him. Just running behind Dan Evs on the back straight. I say straight, it's more like a bit of a...
But the yellow flag seems to be following.
Yeah, there is yellow flags, I think, in sector... just going into turn 2.
Yeah, I mean, those flags could be for a number of things. We can't just assume it is for...
Maranello's got super grip in the corners. I'm wondering if the reason why he can't get past Jamie James on the straight is just because he's got running higher aero, which is helping him out in sector 3.
But he is a lot closer this time, but if those yellow flags are flashing up, it may just be putting him off, and if he's not
it's green now.
It is green, but now it's yellow again. But if, like I say, if those keep flashing up, it might just be distracting him. And obviously we do have the rules that if you feel that the flags are unjust and you make an overtake and you get penalised, you can always appeal the overtake afterwards, like I did last week, and I didn't get my penalty back because it was justified as there was an accident further ahead. But there you go, that's the risk you take.
Yeah, especially under traction. I'm just looking at Maranello and he's just closing in on traction. The only area where Jamie James is pulling away is just on the straights, but Maranello just ran a touch wide there.
That looked a bit like dirty air understeer coming in, and we are on lap 7, so I'm just thinking about pit stops. I'm not saying that I'm not expecting anyone just yet, but going on what data information I have got, I think these tyres are good for 10 laps, so it all depends on how many they've done in qualifying.
Yeah, if anything, really.
That was Dan Evs, no front wing, yes.
I think... oh, we're missing it!
Yeah.
Maranello. He's making a move all over the back of Jamie James. Jamie James gone defensive. He's up the inside into the chicane. Jamie James leaving a car's width, which is really nice to see. Maranello once again on power. Is he going to be able to do it up the inside?
Well, he's not showing out for me.
Just enough in front. And this is the closest he's been. If he's going to make a move, this is the perfect opportunity. Jamie James knows it. He's lost it on traction. And here comes Maranello.
I just saw loads of debris out of the last corner there. That must be Dan Evs' wing out of the last corner.
Here we go down into turn 1, and he is in front where the yellow flags are.
Well,
and he's made the move.
Yeah, he has now. it's up to him whether he carries on going or gives the position back. It all depends on how he feels, whether it's justified or not, especially if you've done a few laps now and you've seen them there every lap but no incident.
I think the yellow flags was just out of turn 2 and he made the move, sorry, just out of turn 3 and he made the move just on the exit of turn 2. So yeah. I think he was just in front in the green flag zone.
Yeah. Ray, do you have any sort of pit strategies, sort of any information from any teams or drivers, or any idea whether it's going to be going for a 2-stop or 3-stopper?
I'll find out.
Thank you very much.
Is it just me, or has Temp Fear just dropped back from DP?
I was wondering that.
He was about 2 seconds behind before, and now he's 3.2, and I can't... Whenever I jump on board with him, Jamie James making the move back in front of Maranello. Is Maranello going to be able to fight this back? This is a brilliant scrap between these two.
And all this time over Dyking is literally just following them around, and it looks like he's not quite got the pace to push. But Jamie James and Temp Fear have gone for the pits. Can they keep it within the pit lane boundaries? It looks like they both have.
Yep. Oh, on my screen, Jamie James just ran straight into the wall. Maybe it was a bit of lag, but he's got all parts of his front wing, which is good.
That is good for him, definitely. So, it was the end of lap 7.
He's coming on the pit exit is DP now. He's pitted at the end of lap 7.
He has. So he's currently in 5th place. He's on the prime tyres. He's getting his prime stint out of the way. I would have thought that some of these guys would have gone for an extra lap or 2. But well, there we go.
Maranello is currently leading the race, not pitted yet, along with Overdyking, who is in P2.
Now this could be a team tactic from Mode Red Marussia. He is a reserve driver. He's not scoring points for himself. He is there just for the team. So I wouldn't be surprised if DP has had a little word to say, stay out as long as you can, and if that Ferrari keeps following you, don't let him past, because that is well within their rights to say that as a team.
And I've got to say, Konzo did change from pad to wheel at the start of this season, and he is currently at the end of lap 8 only 8 seconds off the race lead.
Not too bad, not
that's
shabby.
Some decent pace. Yeah, I think by the end of the season he's going to be right back where he was on the pad.
Well, you say at the start of the season he went to wheel. I think it was 2 or 3 races, you know.
The Spanish Grand Prix, I think it was.
I think it was, yeah. So Maranello, will he be looking to pit this lap because his teammate's already pitted, or is he going to stick it out for as long as he can?
Wing again.
Yeah, Jason's lost his wing. There's a lot of debris in sector 2.
Maranello has now gone into the pits, and Overdyking has followed him. It does look like those drivers are struggling a bit with the pit entrance, or is it just the visuals that we are seeing?
Both Williams are running wingless at the moment. Jason and
no. So they'll be hoping not to...
Bartman's lost his wing. Is there anybody else?
So as front racing DP goes past the pits, he does come out ahead of his teammate. He has retaken the lead.
Yeah, Jamie James got a clear gap in front of Maranello, and now he's clawing over the back of Temp Fear. I think Temp Fear... Oh, and Overdyking's jumped out in front of them. I'm just watching this now, a 3-car battle, and I don't know what's going on with Overdyking. He seems to be going really slow. It's like he's in lag mode.
Yeah, he's...
Temp Fear... yeah,
very interesting. Is he on pause menu?
He wasn't driving the car. It looked very much like it.
I'm wondering if he's got the Danevs incident that happened. I can't remember the race. I think it might have been at Silverstone, where he was on the race director as he was leaving the pits, and it was stuck to pause menu all for the rest of the race. So if Rato Chick could give us any information on that, it would be interesting to find out.
But Jamie James is now clawing over the back of Temp Fear. If he don't make a move now, he never will, because this is a prime opportunity you want.
He's done it.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant driving there from Jamie James. He's looked the stronger of the Ferrari pairing in this race so far.
Just while we were talking about Overdyking and then Jamie James and Temp Fear, we did have a message come up saying that Killer Corkin's race was finished. So if we could get any information on that, it would be appreciated. So have we got everybody on primes at the moment? Down to Ray in the pit lane.
Yeah, Killer Corkin, he had no front line, but he never went in the pits. So I don't know, I missed seeing if he tried for the pits and then he cut out because he had no front wing. I've messaged A-Razor21 to find out because he's Ferrari's engineer, sorry.
That's right.
Dom pitted, but James was still in the box. He's in the box, still on his screen. So it says he's still in the pits.
Oh right. Okay. Well, he came out on the screen and off for us.
Yeah.
So
his car's just lagged out of the pit now.
Yeah, very interesting. So basically, Dykings had an extremely lengthy pit stop
of about a minute.
Yeah, not exactly what you would want. Not what you would want at all. So we were thinking about strategies earlier on. We see some guys on the prime tyres now, which are the yellow wall tyres. I haven't had a chance to have a quick look to see what everybody's on. I know that
top three are running primes. Maranello's running super softs.
Yeah,
but he did go a lap longer.
He did,
along with temp.
Yeah, I was just considering as well whether Maranello's running the opposite tyres at this point in the race, so that him and Overdyking, I don't mean to say Overdyking, him and front row racing DP don't have to pit on similar lap times, because DP's tyres should last a lot longer, and I do see a lot of debris on the approach to the last corner then. So I'm wondering whether we had an incident a couple of laps earlier there.
Both McLaren's running 5th and 6th at the moment. Ron Dennis is jumping for joy in that McLaren garage at the moment.
They'll be extremely happy with that.
Yeah, on Dom's screen, James was still in the pit box. So
that is unfortunate.
Very strange.
That is strange, unfortunate, and we're going to have
to.
Yeah, they're going to have to just class that as a mistake by your pit crew. Unfortunately. But I tell you what, we had Dan Evs earlier on with no front wing. He's currently running on my screen in 7th place. The car ahead of him it's Hammer Time, who's just in the pit box again for a new front wing. So he's lost his front wing, unfortunately. So he's on the lengthy pit stop.
Maranello on the super soft tyres, they're coming in, they're coming good, and Temp Fear's under even more pressure. Is Temp Fear going to lose this podium place?
He could quite possibly. GT5 King has dropped a long way
new
down.
Drivers so far that I've been able to commentate on, Maranello's looked absolutely solid. He's not put a wheel wrong at this moment. Watch, I'm going to put the commentator's curse on him now.
So can we confirm that Konzo is currently in 5th place, because there was a jump between numbers when I was scrolling through?
Konzo is in 5th place. GT5 King is in 6th place.
Is he? GT5? Yeah, GT5.
And Maranello, he is eyeing up this move on Temp Fear. He's going to have to make it down into turn. We're heading through turn 1, now going into turn 2.
I've got GT5 King in 12th place on my screen.
Console's on 4th, and just find out GT5 King for you.
We've got DP in P1, Jamie James P2, Maranello P3, Temp Fear P4, Konzo P5, GT5 King P6, Mornay P7, running in front of Dan Evs, I think. Overdyking, a full lap down.
Yeah, I think what it was with GT5 King, it was showing me in the correct position, actually car on circuit, but not in the correct number at the top of the screen.
So here we go, Overdyking making a move to unlap himself from Mornay.
He's a long way down. I mean, he's going to be hoping that we get a few disqualifications from this race to try and get some points out of it, which is always a possibility with these new strict rulings.
Before the second round of pit stops, are we going to be able to see a Mana Marussia P1 and 2?
Well, I think we could quite possibly, because we've got front row racing DP quite comfortable on his prime tyres. Not sure what lap times he's currently doing, but he's looking quite comfortable on them there. Jamie James is 4.1 seconds behind, with Maranello literally right on his gearbox. I think it's going to be making a move down this start-finish straight. Maranello's just set the fastest lap of the race again of a 1:38, something I didn't see.
He is absolutely flying.
And he's stopped Jamie James from going defensive because he got that move done so early. Can he keep the position?
Nice,
there we
nice
go.
And tidy.
Just don't let Jamie James back ahead.
I don't think Jamie James has even got... I don't think he's got the grip to get back in front.
He hasn't, and I've just noticed, unless I am mistaken, which usually I normally am, the compound of tyre Maranello is on is the super soft. Jamie James is on the soft. So at this moment in time, Maranello, does have that grip compound advantage until they start to run out. Now, if he pitted at the end of lap 8, which I believe he did, he should be looking to go to at least 18, I would have thought.
Yeah, 16, between 16 and 18 he's looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he went
in the slipstream. Is this the point though where he's just jumped in front? Is this the point where the options start to lose grip and the primes start to come into their element?
Quite possibly.
He's just had a wiggle on exit. Jamie James is trying to unsettle Maranello.
I think we might just be about at that crossover point, but I was quite surprised in testing that until those super softs run out on you and hit the cliff, they can be just as quick as an old set of prime tyres. They probably would be lapping a similar sort of pace until he hits the cliff, but once he hits that cliff, he'll struggle to get around to the pit lane.
I know that DP is in a commanding position at the moment. He's been dominant so far. But is there any thought in the back of his mind that his teammate may be able to beat him?
I don't think his teammate will beat him because he's there to help the team score points. When we say his teammate, we're obviously talking at this event about RMS Maranello and not Kev 187. We are aware that Kev 187 is unavailable due to his personal life, which is obviously more important, which we all understand. But for Maranello, if at any point in this race he has a chance of beating DP, I think basically you go for it, and then if you can give the plates back towards the end, the points to DP is what is more important. I mean, that's what I would, you expect that from a reserve driver. Well, I would anyway. Or is that just me being me?
Well, I don't know. If I want to take the headlines, I want to win the race. I want to prove that I'm the best. But I do see your point. DP's in a championship battle. Maranello's in it to prove that he can beat DP.
I mean, for me, what would be more important is to show not just are you a good racer and you could have won the race, but also I'm a team player and I respect my teammate. Yep. And because when you've got to choose, at some point when you've got to choose what teammate you're going to enter into front row racing with, if you've got someone that says no, sod you don't really want them as your teammate, do you? You'd want someone that's going to help you along the way, and help each other, and that's how a team will progress.
Exactly.
So
Jamie James is.
Sorry, I was just looking at in the background at Temp Fear. I'm just thinking that gap from is it Temp Fear or is it Dan Evs? It is Temp Fear. That gap is closing down from Temp Fear. He's currently in 4th place. He's not that far behind. Jamie James is going to be soon behind him.
He's not that far behind, but he was when he came out of the pit lane. He was only maybe about 50 metres behind Jamie James when he exited the pit lane, and they're both running the same type of compound, so Jamie James has clearly got a touch more pace than Temp Fear around this circuit on the prime tyres.
Quite possibly, and it'll be interesting to see whether they're doing 2 prime stints to end or another option stint. Down to Ray in the pit lane.
Yeah, just an update from Killer Corkin. He lost his front line and overshot the pit entry, and then he lost connection.
Oh dear. Rather unfortunate, but thank you very much for the information. Always appreciated. So there we go. It can happen to anyone, that could. It doesn't matter how comfortable front racing DP could be out there in the lead. Disconnections can happen to anyone. If it was to happen to him and he's got a laps lead, a disconnection is a disconnection at the end of the day, isn't it? So Hopefully that's not just cursed DP. But anyway, let's have a quick look through the James. He was looking like he was going to go for a little look up the inside there, but I am going to run through the order. We've got this lap plus 10 more to go, so we are a fair way through, and we are going to be looking at pit stops again soon. So before we get to that second round of pit stops, you might need to help me here a little bit. But I've got Front Row Racing DP in first place, Maranello in second place, Jamie James in third place, Temp Fear in fourth place, Konzo I believe to be in fifth place because it showed me GT5 King in sixth place, Mornay in
fifth.
Yep, great stuff. Danevs in 8th, Bartman in 9th, It's Hammer Time 44, or as he wants to be known, Hammer, in 10th, Jason in 11th, over Dyking still circulating there in 12th place, and then back to the leader, Front Row Racing DP again. So what is that gap to his teammate? 3.8 seconds. It's not a comfortable lead, not what I would call a comfortable lead.
Yeah, but Maranello is now starting to go defensive. He can feel them tyres going off, and Jamie James is snapping at his heels.
He is snapping at those heels, and I think what we're probably going to see here is Maranello not right necessarily this lap. Oh,
yeah, it's going for the pit. There we go.
I was just wondering whether we're going to see Maranello pit and Jamie James always bouncing off walls. That must be not what he's seeing. With Jamie James having the pace, could he actually pit the next lap and come out ahead, or would he go for a couple more?
Well, he did it on the previous lap. He did the undercut, so the undercut does work around here. If anything, Jamie James is wanting to run these primes as far as they can go as he just overtakes Jason, the back marker. He's just trying to make sure that he can run the option tyres at the end, and he knows there's 11 laps left. Them options aren't going to last 11 laps.
Right.
What tyres is Maranello? Yeah, Maranello's gone back onto the primes. He knows that them tyres were giving up.
He's not ran the primes yet, has he, Maranello?
Yeah. There
so
we go. So now he's doing his mandatory tyre selection, and there we go with 11 laps to go. Can he and will he be able to undercut not only Jamie James, will he be able to undercut his teammate when he's DP gonna pit?
That's a good question, because at the moment he's on the freshest tyres of the top 4 cars. You've got DP and Jamie James circulating on the prime tyres, but they're old prime tyres, and DP, when he does pit, is he going to do it this lap? We're on board with him. It looks like he's going for that pit box. So let's have a look at Jamie James. What's he going to do? Is he going to follow suit?
No,
he's going to go round again. So he must be feeling very comfortable at the moment.
Where is Temp Fear? Temp Fear is staying out as well. Them front tyres are not looking too nice on Temp Fear's car.
So Front Racing DP's gone into the pits. Maranello is going into the last couple of corners. We
do have that lag issue. Here we go. Is it? Yeah, it's jumped him back. Where is Maranello?
Start finish line.
Yep.
And here we go. DP's exiting the pit. You can see him just coming round in the background.
DP's got that at the moment, and DP is on the super soft, I believe.
Yeah.
So his tyres.
9 laps to go on a set of options.
If I do believe I'm correct, the option tyres around here are about 1.6 seconds per lap quicker. So he is in the, I'd say, prime position. He's in the option position to make the most of it at this point.
But clearly, Jamie James and Temp Fear don't think that them options are going to last that long. So they've carried on.
They have carried on. Well, the way I see it is, if you've done an out lap in qualifying, a flying lap in qualifying, come into the pits in qualifying, that's 3 laps, and then you've gone to lap 8 during the race, then theoretically you should be able to do 10 laps in the race. Quite possibly.
Now we do know that Jamie James does like to run his tyres as long as possible. But is he going for that pit lane? No, he's staying out. Is he going to try and not stop like what he did in Spain?
That just crossed my mind. But if he's going off the strategy that he did last season, the compounder tyres are different. Now we do know that he's not had that much. Was it his comments that were not much practice? Because the harder tyre around here last season were pretty good for 20 laps, but I don't think we're on the same compound. Well, I know we're not on the same compound.
The Maranello's got a clear jump in front of Temp Fear by a fair few seconds. I don't even think Temp Fear's coming out of the pit lane yet. So currently the gap between DP and the leader is 11.6 seconds. There is no chance that Jamie James is going to be able to maintain the lead with DP on a fresh set of options hunting him down.
Yeah, I mean the gap between Jamie James here in the leader, as the leader, and front row racing DP, 11 seconds. I mean, Jamie James is just throwing time away at the moment. He really needs to get into that pits and put on another set of tyres.
I can't understand why he didn't just try and cover Maranello for P2. Just do the lap after, strap on a fresh set of options like DP did, and hunt down and get past and secure P2 from Maranello.
Unless he is more thinking about Temp Fear and wanting to make sure here we are, he's heading for the pits now. He's more thinking of Temp Fear and what is best for his teammate, because if there's anybody he needs to take points off, it's Temp Fear. He's obviously the championship leader currently, so to help his teammate more than anything and to keep his teammate in the championship battle, that's the person he needs to beat. Now he's on the way out of the pits, so it looks like he may be on the way out of the pits.
Maranello's just making his way over the start-finish line.
Temp Fear is into the last corner, so Jamie James will be ahead of Temp Fear.
He's past him. Yep. No, he won't. Oh, yeah, sorry, Temp Fear, yeah, he will. So Temp Fear's just heading over the...
into turn 1,
yeah, he's
approaching turn 2.
Way back.
So we do know earlier on Temp Fear lost that wing, but yeah, I'm surprised at the pace of Temp Fear, to be honest with you.
But look at the gap now. Maranello pitted and he was pretty much had Jamie James right up behind him. Jamie James, to be fair, has got 7 laps with a fresh set of options, which he'll probably be able to close that gap down. But now that gap has stretched out, and it looks about 3, maybe 3.5 seconds to Maranello.
Well, Jamie James has gone through sector 1 and it says 7 seconds to the leader. We've got Maranello saying 4 seconds to the leader. Now
on my screen I've just seen Jamie James take all 4 wheels off the circuit there, so that will not be helpful if he has to do a lift and coast into the corner.
Definitely not. Now Maranello running these option tyres, I think, you know, by the time prime tyres, by the time Jamie James gets up to the back of him, Maranello's tyres are still going to be good, and it is going to be pretty much last lap.
We shall see.
Whereas if he'd have, he would
Maranello, even if Maranello gets P3 and Jamie James beats him, it has been an absolutely stellar first drive for him.
It has. But I was just wondering actually about strategies. Would Jamie James go on?
3 of the top 5 drivers have penalties.
Ooh. So that could change the podium towards the end of the race. That's very interesting. So they're going to be all quite close together as they do cross the finish line. But just thinking about Jamie James's strategies, could he have pitted, say, 2 laps earlier than he did, but gone for another set of prime tyres?
DP did pit with 9 laps left to go for a set of options.
I was on about.
He obviously know. Yeah, but I'm just saying that from that bit of information, we know that DP's going to be able to take a set of options 9 laps. Jamie James is thinking they're only going to last 7 laps. That's why he left it so late. But yeah, he could have gone for another set of primes. But if the options do last 9 laps, you may as well strap on a set of options.
Yeah, there is that to it. But has James run? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
James.
Yeah, first stint. Yeah.
James ran options in the first stint, primes in the second stint, so he could have gone for another set of primes or another set of options, entirely up to him. But I was just thinking, if he felt he had the raw pace to beat Maranello from first 17 laps that we'd seen, if it'd have, I'm just wondering whether he could have gone for the same compound and beat him on pace rather than have to beat him on strategy. That might have been a better way of doing it, whereas now he's got to rely on catching up to him.
He's got to make the move, and he's known all race long that Maranello is super quick, especially in the corners.
Right, let's have a quick look through, see if we can find any other battles on circuit. Just to let you know that Temp Fear is currently 13 seconds behind the lead and can just about see the guys in front of him. I can't see where Connor is, but we have GT5 King in 6th place, running around on the prime tyres. He's quite a fair way ahead of Mornay, who's got Danevs quite close to him, so there's something to keep an eye out for, which is Danevs and Mornay. Towards the end of this race they could end up very close together. They are both on the same compound of tyre, with Bartman quite close behind and on the softer of the tyres. It's Hammer Time 44 a bit further behind, Jason a bit more, and we'll go back round to front racing DP. He looks like he's
Jamie James is in the zone. Sorry, apologies. I think Jamie James is getting himself in the zone to make a move. Is he going to be this lap, or is he going to just try and unsettle Maranello?
He does have the DRS open down that straight, so he was within a second on this lap, so he has caught that gap up reasonably quickly. But this is where he should have the grip advantage, but I get the feeling that by the time he gets the move done, the grip advantage might start to swing the other way.
Yeah, and I do think that even though Maranello's running the primes, Jamie James did seem to be quicker in a straight line, so this may be an easy breeze past for Jamie James. But even though there's a different tyre compound, we did see that Maranello did have superior grip when they were on the same tyres. So here goes Jamie James right round the outside, absolutely beautiful move, all four wheels off the white line, and he's keeping that position.
He is. Well, there we go. Maranello might still have something in the bag to come back at him, as Jamie James's tyres may start to wear slightly. Has Jamie James got enough? I don't know. I mean, his tyres are, what, 3 laps newer than DP's? I don't know whether there's going to be enough laps left and enough of a difference in the tyre life to bring that gap down to DP.
8.6 seconds is the gap, and there's 4.5 laps left. So I think, and with only 2 laps superior grip, I'm not too sure. I think DP'd have to make an epic mistake for Jamie James to try and snatch this.
Quite possibly. We may find that RMS Maranello is more likely to be giving Jamie James more hassle than Jamie James will to DP.
But yeah, no, it's been incident filled. We've just hit a bit of a lull now. So every driver seems to be a bit spaced out.
I'm just wondering.
We've got Dan Eves trying to make a move on Bartman. He's currently in P8 behind P7.
Not quite close enough to make it on that. And that straight there.
His tyres, his front right tyre looks absolutely dreadful. If he's looking to make a move, he's got a bit of a job on to try and keep it smooth and clean.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Front right tyre that looks like it's ready to burst.
Yeah, with Dan Evans having to pit when he did for losing his front wing, has put his race strategy completely out of the window. So unfortunately, he's probably on really old tyres at this stage of the race.
I've got to say I've seen more helpful back markers than I've just seen there, Jason, letting Conzo through. I know that you're having trouble picking Conzo up on circuit, but Jason really did. It wasn't very helpful.
He normally is.
Through the final few corners.
He normally is Jason, but it might be one of those where he's daring not to go off circuit because he knows what it can be like around here for handing out disqualifications rather than penalties. Yeah,
Maranello's dropped off the back of Jamie James.
I've just returned to them, and he has dropped off. Now, is this where it can last few laps? Fuel comes into it.
Yeah. I mean, are we going to see Temp Fear snatch third place from Maranello, which would be absolutely cruel, but you know, it's all part of racing.
It is all part of racing, and that is something that I'm pretty sure DP will not want his teammate to be giving that position away, because DP is going to want to get as many points as possible over Tempfear to give DP his chance of keeping his title hopes alive. Maranello disqualified.
Maranello.
Oh dear me! Well, that changes everything there for the potential podium.
Penalties.
Sorry, Ray. Repeat that, Ray.
He was one of the drivers with penalties, so there's another 2 still out there with penalties.
Right. No, I will.
Oh dear, that's unfortunate. 2 laps to go.
So all them points for Mana Marusha just evaporated because of a few errors, and it's cost the team massive, big time, and it's just let Tempfear have an extra few points and a place on the podium.
Just as I was saying that DP wouldn't want Tempfear to be ahead of Maranello, well, there we go. Nothing he can do about it. I'm looking at the gap between Jamie James and the leader. It's 7.5 seconds. So yeah, that gap's not coming down quick enough.
I've got to say though, but in terms of racing etiquette during this race and the pace he's had, maybe the game has picked up on a few off-circuit adventures that we haven't noticed.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, what an absolutely fantastic first drive for Maranello.
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate that he's been, the driver that's been disqualified, and we don't always get to see on our screen what the drivers are doing. As in, sometimes it looks like they are taking the corners correctly, but they might be slightly off. So yeah. Oh well, he was doing well. He was doing well, and definitely gave the Ferraris a run for the money.
Yep. He's certainly raised his profile in terms of showing his ability over other drivers. I mean, I've got to say, in terms of placing and positioning his car, you couldn't have asked for more.
No, and I was just waiting for the sector 1 for Jamie James there to see if that gap would come down at all. It's only come down by 1/10, so unless DP's tyres hit that cliff, I don't think it's going to happen.
Ray, down in the pit lane, do you happen to know how many penalties somebody may have racked up? Are we looking at a lot, or are we just looking at a couple of seconds?
There's a few seconds, and then there's probably one that might have to go to race directors if it's what the penalty I'm thinking it's for.
Right, so in that case, if there is a problem and there is a steward's inquiry about certain off-track adventures, Konzo, currently running in P4, is on for a cracking podium.
Wow,
in terms of points. I mean, he isn't in the running for an actual podium position at this moment, but if it comes down to a steward's inquiry and something's looking suspicious as what Ray's seen down in the pit lane, Konzo could be in the prime position for
the penalty could get lifted.
Right. So it could be a lifted penalty, right? Okay.
So yep. So anything can happen. So we shall see. Just notice it
to go.
Yeah, DP is on it, and yeah, we've not seen much of DP, so I am on board with him at the moment, giving him a bit of airtime because we've not had much action there for that front position. Something I had noticed was I haven't read out DP's pre-race comments, so I'm going to get them in before we finish the race. It says, "It's a shame Kev is unable to race again this week. Personal life comes first. I'm sure we all can respect that. For me, in Russia, I'm not a huge fan of the track, but should have some decent pace. Looking at the standings, it'll be hard to catch Temp now. Good luck to RMS Maranello on his reserve drive." But there you go, DP, it was you that cursed him there. So there we go. Yeah, so front racing DP comes past the pit entrance. 2 corners to go. Don't cut them because you're risking getting disqualified on the last corner. You don't want that to happen. There we go then. there we are. Front Row Racing DP takes the victory.
Absolutely fantastic, and once again the Ferraris turning up on the podium.
Yeah, Front Row Racing DP first, Jamie James second, and now we've got Temp Fear crossing the line.
Save of the day, Temp Fear, absolutely brilliant.
I can't remember exactly what sort of part of the circuit it was on when he lost his wing, but he did well to finish up on the podium.
Yeah, it's all about, with that, it was clear, he clearly knew he didn't have the pace, but his consistency and his perseverance has got him on the podium.
Definitely has. I mean, for one driver that I am feeling sorry for out of everyone, and you're probably expecting me to say Maranello, it's not. It's over Dyking. I mean,
oh yeah,
hard to get screwed over in the pit lane.
Yeah, brilliant pace, and then came out of the pit, so we're waiting, we're looking forward to fireworks. I see fireworks as GT5 King over the line completely loses it. I don't know if it was trying to entertain the fans, but I don't think his pit crew are going to be happy about having to clean up his front wing.
Not at all, but I'm aware that there was a driver that did that last season in the World Series. Yeah, it was World Championship last season. Dave the Art. Yeah, okay, he may have hit my rear first, but yeah, he spun it out of the last corner. But podium then. Who is on what step? It is Front Row Racing DP on the top step. It is Jamie James on the second, and we do have Temp Fear again on the podium in third place. Tell you what, this season's looking very strong for Temp Fear. It's going to be very difficult for a driver to be taking this away from him. But congratulations to the top three. Ray, down to you in the pit lane. If you could just let everybody know over this broadcast now what they need to do.
Yeah, I've already put it on the broadcast.
Oh, okay, fine.
Remember to get your question in for the driver's podium, starting with @Ray.
Well, there we go. Yep, so Ray said it. And Konzo did finish fourth with GT5 King fifth. What a race that is then for the McLaren Honda team. Yeah, great there. Great stuff.
Nice haul of points there for Ron Dennis. He'll be having a nice beer tonight. He'll be less fed up of Alonso spinning and crashing in Australia, and he'll be well impressed with Konzo and GT5.
I must say, well done to Konzo, because on my screen it says you didn't stop.
Epic tyre wear.
Yeah. Okay, so over to Ray to invite the top three in, which was in first place Front Row Racing DP, second Jamie James, and third place Temp Fear. And I'll tell you what, I've got a brilliant question for Jamie James today.
I've got to say though, Jamie James, he even when Overdyking got bogged down, he absolutely had brilliant pace. I'd have liked to have seen him if he'd qualified higher.
Yeah, I mean before the pit stops. Yeah, so before the pit stops, Jamie James was out there ahead of his teammate. So, yeah, I mean there was no reason why he wasn't going to be finishing ahead of his teammate at that event. But yeah, I mean it was a great race there from the Ferrari driver, shall we say? And DP's probably wondering what the hell happened to other drivers in that race. Yeah, there was no one else racing in that race. DP, it was just you.
Oh, just me on the track.
Yeah, just you. Not really. That would make a really boring video. But on Konzo's screen, it was just him. I think he had two.
Danny, I'm just going to the toilet.
Okay, take your microphone off, please, or press mute.
Will do. Don't want to hit.
Okay, so I do believe we've got the top three in the chat room, apart from Jamie James, who has briefly just left the chat room, who will be back shortly. So just to confirm to the viewers there, it is provisional. The result will go to the Front Row Racing race directors, and the footage can be looked at from all the other drivers before any final decision is made. Find on Facebook the final result next Monday or Tuesday. I do believe it is Tuesday as it goes out. Yeah, Tuesday as it is. So we shall go to the guy on the top step, Front Row Racing DP.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. I am struggling for questions for you because, to be honest with you, we didn't really see much of you in that race because everything was happening behind you.
I can imagine.
But first of all, talk us through qualifying. How did that go for you?
Qualifying was an interesting one. I always only planned on doing 2 runs, one with 2 laps of fuel, one with 1 lap of fuel. Qualifying lap wasn't a great one, but it was 35.9. I know that's sort of a benchmark, should be looking 35.5s if not quicker. But I was saying to Marinello, I'd done a 35.5 and then focused on race pace, so I didn't know what I was going to get. Went out for one last run at the end, and you know what? The nerves got to me a little bit, I think. And yeah, made a mess of the lap. So I think I was about a 10th off in sector 1, and then half a second down sector 2. So abandoned it, knowing that I'd be starting the race on tyres that had already done 2 hot laps.
Oh, so they'd done.
And an in lap.
I didn't know you'd done 2 hot laps on those tyres that you'd set your lap on. We were just kind of assuming that it was 1 lap. So that will answer my next question then. Pitting when you did for your first pit stop. That kind of, I say, answers the question. Pitting when you did you know, because the laps that you pitted on, it would mean that at the end of the race, when you go back onto the option tyres, you knew that you'd be comfortably getting to the end of the race on them. But obviously, doing 2 flying laps and getting to that point, you were without a doubt, I'm assuming.
To be honest, I was comfortable enough. I could have gone for another lap on that first stint. I could have gone to 8. But I was thinking in my mind, okay, if I go to 8, someone pits to get a bit of an undercut. But if I pit now, it means my teammate can pit the next lap as well, so he won't get screwed over. But no, I mean, I could have gone, or at least I felt like I could have gone another lap on them at the start. But I had it worked out, pit on lap 7 or 8, and then run the primes to anywhere from the end of lap 17, because I knew that I could comfortably do 10 laps on the options. At the end, so yeah.
I mean, it did look like to us that there were some drivers that were struggling when they were getting to the 7th and 8th and 9th lap on the option tyres. That's why I was asking you about it. But you mentioned your teammate there, your reserve that's in for Kev 187. Now, I'm pretty sure he would have been in the chat room with you. What were his comments as the message came up saying he got disqualified?
Well, you know what? First off, I want to say what a fantastic job it looked like he was doing.
He did a great job.
He hadn't had a lot of practice, and he did steal my setup, and he went, okay, that's a bit quicker. And throughout the race he was saying, I am a lot faster than everyone around me in sector 3. So it was all going well, but he was constantly saying, I'm having a few problems with the track limits. And I was trying to say to him, right, just try and reel it in, keep going. He was devastated when the disqualification came, and I worry that he thinks he's sort of let the team down. But I tried saying there's 2 things I said to him. One was, don't worry about it, you've shown that you've got pace. I mean, to come in as he did, the guy's got pace.
The reason...
And the second one was, you'll love this, is, well, there's one upside to getting disqualified. He says, what's that? I says, it means no one can get you disqualified for forgetting to record your qualifying in the first 13 laps of the race.
So there we go. I tell you what,
I think he was more gutted about that, to be honest, because I think he would have known what that meant.
Yeah.
But I've just got to add to that. His car placement throughout that race was absolutely spot on. I did say I give him his props after he got disqualified. I said, even though he's been disqualified in terms of a first race for front row racing World Championship, until that point you couldn't have asked for a better drive.
I mean, the reason why I mentioned your teammate and what his remarks were was because for us, he was lining up for being the driver of the day because of how well he was holding his own at that.
That's it, just some salted to the wound.
Basically we're just going to say, don't feel bad about what you did, mate, because you did brilliant. But with these new strict rules, it is difficult, and we understand that. But you honestly. You've made a lot of guys open their eyes and go, do you know what, this guy's quick. So anyway, Front racing DP, come back to you again in a moment once we've had a word with the other two. Jamie James, are you back with us from your little comfort break? Good. Right then, Jamie James, my first question to you, are you ready for this?
Go on.
Does this mean now that you class yourself as the number one driver in the Ferrari team?
No comment still.
Okay, on to my next question.
Does this make Dom number 2 driver?
Does this make Dom?
Sorry, I don't mean that. I don't mean that.
Now pipe down, Dave. You've had your turn.
Yeah, sure, Dave. Yeah, James. No, the fair play. That was great, but how much pressure were you feeling from Maranello during that race?
Yeah, no, yeah. I'll just reiterate what you guys said. He shot me quite a bit. He beat me in quali, and then during the race, he was always a menace. Him and Temp Fear. I had to get past initially, and then once I did, we never really left. Well, I think Temp might have struggled a little bit, through sector 3, but Maranello was absolutely storming it through there.
Yeah, I mean,
so
Temp did have a moment with his front wing at one point. He did lose his front wing, so that's why Temp dropped down a bit.
Was that on the last corner? Did he spin it on the last corner by any chance? Did he run it?
Dennis?
No, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, I'm pretty sure I heard somebody, whether it was James, James or Ray, say both Mercedes have lost their front wing.
I never lost my front wing.
Well, okay, that sums that up.
I think it was a different incident. Yeah, Williams.
Okay. Maybe it was somebody saying the wrong team name then. Okay. Well, we've had that cleared up anyway. Yeah, so James, I want to ask you, how did you come second when you left your car in the pit lane for so long?
Dom. I pitted on the lap 7, and I said to Dom, "Is that all right?" And you pitted a lap after. And he went, "Yeah." So I went in, did the pit stop. It looked like Tempe had a moment in the entrance to the pit stop because he slowed right down. But anyway, the next lap round, I heard Dom over the commentary saying, "James, your car's still there. So that's the reason why Dom ended up a lap down or something. So it happened. Apparently, it happened to Riyadh as well. I've been told. So
interesting.
Something was a bit fishy there. So.
Yeah, a little bit odd, shall we say? We've not seen that happen before.
We have seen. I think we have seen it happen before. I think it was one of the practice sessions we've done. I don't know if it was this season or last season where all the cars were just staying in the pits. I think it might have been Malaysia actually.
I think I was in that practice session. I do remember where if you pitted, it didn't let you out again. But in your case, you pitted and it let you out, but it wouldn't let Dom pit.
Well, that's. I had no. I mean, all the cars around me when I pitted had no problems. They were in and out fine. And then when Dom went in, he said he had a problem, and then Rian had a problem. So I don't know how many people it actually affected, but
it'd be interesting.
It was a strange one.
Yeah. Well, if there's any drivers listening in, if you witnessed something similar, let us know, because then I can be prepared to pit ahead of my teammate tomorrow. Oh no, I've got no teammate tomorrow. Anyway. James, congratulations on second, and also I believe that makes you, or takes you above your teammate in the standings.
It certainly does. My aim was to beat DP, if I'm honest, but I'm happy to beat Dom anytime.
It puts you ahead, yeah.
I think I was 8 behind, so I might be about
10 ahead.
10 or 9. Yeah, 10 or 9.
Yep.
James, can I just butt in here? Do you feel like you could have took the fight to DP if you'd have qualified higher up?
Potentially, yeah. I also think that I didn't actually realise the options could do 10 laps. That I thought Dave pitted very early. I thought surely he's not going to the options because the primes were working well. But no, yeah, I mean, if I knew that, I would have pitted either the same lap as him or the lap after. I might have been closer. I don't know, but maybe if qualifying just isn't my strong point at the minute. So luckily I've got the race pace.
The race pace was absolutely solid, mate. Well done.
Well done. Thanks very much, James. We shall move on to 10th year podium again, mate. Well done.
Yeah, keeping the streak up.
Yeah. We saw you have quite good pace at the start, but then there was a period, and we assumed it was from something. No, I did. Assumed it was something to do with maybe losing a bit of wing or having an incident at some point. But yeah, the gap between you and Jamie James did drop off a little bit. Now, was that just down to pace?
The first stint seemed really, really strong, and then when you came out of the pits, it just seemed to evaporate a bit.
Well, I just hate this track with a passion. It's probably one of the worst tracks for me.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I think the whole race, I was probably like 80% through qualifying in the race to what I probably should have been doing.
Well, if you can finish third on a track you're not good at and you don't like, then what are we going to see from you from the remainder of the season?
Well, the last 4 races, the 3 of them, Brazil I like, America I like, Mexico, I wouldn't say it's as bad as this. I'm a bit on off, and then Abu Dhabi should be alright. So
I hear he didn't mention Mexico. I don't mean Mexico.
Yeah.
USA. You didn't mention USA. So, what's your thoughts on USA? Yeah. So, have you bought the champagne and have you bought the ice?
Not yet.
Has it?
Careful, try and come back.
I mean, that is very true. Kev could be out for the next race. But nobody's sure quite yet if he's going to be available for next week yet or not. But he's lost out big points again.
Yeah, but I haven't capitalised 100% either there.
No, but you're bagging points. That's the most important thing. James, have you got any questions for Temp?
I've got to say, is Mexico your bogey circuit then out of the remainder?
Out of the last 4, it'll probably be my worst, yeah.
Right.
But not as bad as this, hopefully.
Was it
Don't
Mexico?
hit me this time, Tim, please.
I was just getting on to that. Okay, that's covered. Moving on. Before we come back to DP, in fact, actually, we are going to go back to DP for one final question, but I want the same question asked to the other 2 as well. And now it's over to James Hulkenberg to ask question of the day to the podium drivers.
Okay, here we go. Which celebrity would you like to spend a bank holiday with, and what would you do? And this goes to DP first.
Bloody hell. I thought my questions were bad.
Remember, it's a bank holiday, you got 3 days.
You know what? It'd have to be a choice between 3. The woman from Star Wars, the woman from Drive Angry, or Richard Branson. Not because I'm that way inclined, but he's got lots of money, so if I could get pally with him, maybe I could end up borrowing a few $100 million.
Fair enough answer.
That's not a bad answer. James?
I'm going for the less obvious. I'm going to say, I'd love to hang around with either Chris Pratt or Will Smith, just to see how cool they actually are in real life.
Nice answer.
Not bad. And Temp?
I have no idea. Put me on the spot here a little bit.
It's a bit random, that question, but...
Yeah, that completely thrown me off.
That was the whole point to it.
Think of this.
This is what you're fighting for. This is you're fighting to get the questions, get in the podium chat and get the most amazing questions ever.
I'll finish on the podium next week then.
At least it's not my shy turd question.
That's very good. True.
Well, come on, Temp. Who are you picking?
I don't know. I've really done that.
We'll come back to you next week.
Good idea.
I'll tell you what. All right, I'm gonna give my truthful answer now, because I kind of made a joke of an answer earlier on, and then I kind of said Lewis Hamilton, but that was just to try and fill in. If I could spend a bank holiday weekend with any celebrity, it would have to be Ayrton Senna, just to bring him back to life for those few days.
Oh,
Aye, but
you
yeah.
make us all teary now.
I know, bloody hell. I'm about to get me pills out now just to cheer myself up.
If there was one legend you would want to be able to spend some time with, there's one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And on that note, what an absolutely fantastic race, and well done to all podium drivers.
Before you disappear off podium drivers, we need to go down to Ray in the pit lane to find out if we've got any questions from YouTube.
Yeah, just two for DP. From Areza21 DP, how boring was this race?
You know what? It wasn't boring at all, because the nature of this track, if you don't concentrate for half a second, you're in the barrier. And I mean, I nearly did it. Going down the start finish, look in the rear view mirror, look forward, bloody hell, there's a wall there. So I wouldn't say it was boring, no. Pleasing, yes. Boring, no.
And from Hammer Time 44, it's Hammer Time 44. DP, how does it feel to lap Hammer?
It felt very good. It felt no. I mean, on that, what I would say is though, I mean, did lap a couple of people there, and they dealt with the blue flags in an absolutely fantastic manner. So thank you very much to those guys.
Yeah, I just want to say on Hammer's, well, we're just talking about Hammer. Sorry, I'm still going to owe you 10 quid. We didn't put you on camera very often, but unfortunately when we did see you spinning. So, yeah. But congratulations on your first race on a wheel. Well done. So thank you to the podium drivers. You are free to leave the podium, and good luck all of you next week for the USA Grand Prix.
James.
Yep.
Sorry, James. Can I pit first next race? Storm's asking.
Can I answer that? Not now. He's the number 2 driver.
Oh, here we go.
Do you know what? We can't actually do anything. We're equal drivers, equal status.
I've got to say, to be fair, it took a little bit of spice out of the race. I was looking forward to overtaking coming back in the second half, so
yeah,
very unlucky.
It was. We definitely missed that extra car being up there, and yeah, that would have definitely made it more interesting.
I'd have still beat him, by the way.
Oh yeah. I like the confidence from you there. Let's have it for next week. I'll tell you what, that's what I want to see more than anything from the 2 Ferrari drivers from now to the end of the season, is a fair race to the finish line every week to find out exactly who is that number 1 driver. Not because one driver.
That's a good point, because all the races we've had, it's either one's done well and the other one hasn't. Or it's some sort of disconnection. So yeah, I agree with that.
I don't want to see one guy losing the wing because of somebody else's fault or a disconnection or whatever the reasons are. I just want to see 2 Ferraris finish a race or which one's ahead. So that's what we want to see. So thank you very much. Unless Ray's got anything else from the YouTubers for podium drivers?
No, I don't have anything else for podium drivers.
Okay, thank you very much then, drivers. All good luck for next week.
Cheers, guys. Well done.
Cheers.
Well
done from the Racing DP.
See you later.
So there it was. Front Racing DP, provisional first place. Johnny James, provisional second, and 10th Fair, provisional third place. Just want to say, if there are any drivers listening, if you want to just send a message on YouTube, or if you may have already done it, at Ray, and then your driver's comments, then we shall get round to those. Yeah. So I'm just about to come to Ray to say, do you already have any driver's comments?
Yes. Well, Dom confirmed they had to wait about 2 minutes before getting released. GT5 King, on the other hand, was only held up for a second, nothing major.
Yeah.
Team Freedom, they said brilliant result for them, and their engineer is very proud. That was RotoCheck, it was their engineer. Dom saying championship campaign is over. Unfortunately, I'll come back stronger next season. And will Dave and Dom become teammates next season?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. That he should have asked that when we had DP still in here. So
it just came in.
Who did, DP? Or did the question? The question, alright. So I'll tell you what then, DP is probably listening now and he might be able to answer it in the question. So DP, in case you've not heard that, read the questions in there and reply to Dom's question to you. So,
final one, it's Hammer Time 44. My race went alright but should have been better, had decent pace, was struggling at the start for about 6 or 7 laps. Then got his rhythm going. He didn't want to break his front wing, which he did. And his best lap of the race was a 1:39.1.
Quite reasonable.
The second fastest of what he's ever done.
Yeah.
And he feels he's gained experience through the race. So he sent a paragraph, so I'm just trying to take bits out.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ray, before you finish any more of any other comments on that, I'm just going to throw something out there, a quick question to anyone that's listening, and that is, if you want us to use your question for question of the day for next World Championship race, post it in the comments and we might pick one. So if you want to pick the question for question of the day, post it in the comments and we might well use it for one of the forthcoming races. So there we go. Ray, any more?
Nope, that's me. All done and dusted, and I've made tea. I'll need to go for the pub.
Well, don't blame me, I'll be joining you in a moment. I say in a moment, it's probably 300 miles away if I was to join you in the pub. But yeah, I'll be having a pint in a minute. Anyway, I'm just going to have a quick look through some of the drivers' notes that I received before the race to see if there was any that were missed, just to make sure we cover them. We covered Bartman, It's Hammer Time, Killer Cork, and we covered Jason. I don't believe that one was covered. It is I haven't been practicing yet. We'll try and catch a few laps before the race. No expectations at all. I'm really bad at this circuit. Please no rain. Well, we got no rain. Over Dykinks, did we get to him? I don't think we got to his, so we'll just cover his. Hope DP and Temp get disqualified and Ferrari's come away with a 1-2 finish. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. GT5 King, yes, we covered him. Konzo was not sure how the race will go tonight, considering not qualifying tonight to maximise strategy possibilities, looking at 2 stops tonight, finishing 6th, hopefully. So there you go. He definitely did well.
Talking of Overdarking wanting a disconnection for DP, we've got DP here, and he's going to answer the ultimate question: would Overdarking and DP be teammates in the future?
I was only sneaking in to hide in the background.
Well, you're here now.
Hey, talk about putting me on the spot, fella. You know what? Me and Dom, we've had our to-dos in the past. If we ended up as teammates, I'm sure we would we'd make it work. And at the end of the day, we're both extremely competitive people, which can quite often work, but can also, on occasion, backfire.
Well, there we go, straight from the horse's mouth. We've got the answer.
There we have. Just to add some on that though, that if there is anybody like Dom that is just about to go from pad to wheel for a new season that's coming, you couldn't ask for a better teammate than somebody like Front Racing DP that has been on a wheel for such a long time that you could learn a lot from. So yeah, it'd probably be a good idea.
One thing I've just thought, Dom's just ruled himself out of this title battle. Are we going to see him jump onto the wheel now?
Ooh, nah, that is a good question. Dom, if you're still with us, we would really like to know that. He'll probably actually get some practice in at the next circuit before he wants to answer it. But if he's ruling himself out, James hasn't ruled himself out yet. Does that mean that someone like Dom is going to help James towards that title fight for James? That's something else to look forward to in the next few races. So with everything that we've done, everything that we've covered, we will have a look through some of the question of the day suggestions once we've finished here. So please, anyone else that wants to make a suggestion for question of the day, tag it onto those comments. We are going to bring this to a close. If you don't get a chance to tag it in the comments because we are no longer live, send it to Front Row Racing. So tell us what question of the day you want, or if you are looking to join us to do some Formula 1 racing, then send us a message on Facebook, and you can start doing some driving in our FRR Riders and become a reserve driver, just as Arnes Marinello has done today. So yeah, there we are. Well done to everyone, and the next event will be Front Racing World Series tomorrow, which I'll be taking part in, and Front Racing DP doing commentary. I do believe it's along with Front Racing RI. So thank you very much to everyone, and we shall see you all again soon.